Hi everybody, my name's Cath. Welcome to my channel Made by Cath Craft. Thank you so much for joining me today for my last vlog in a series of vlogs I've been doing this month in May, talking all about what I've been wearing each week as part of my handmade wardrobe. And it's all part of Me Made Me on Instagram, which, as you'll know if you've watched my previous vlogs, is an initiative set up by Zoe of So Blog. And for May, I pledged to wear an item of handmade clothing every day, and each week to mix it up, so I wore a different pattern company for every day in the week. So this is my fourth vlog, and I've done 3 previous ones sharing what I've been wearing each week, and I've really enjoyed having a rootle through my wardrobe, picking out some different garments. It's really encouraged me to mix things up, and I can't wait to share with you my final week. So let's go. So the garment I'm wearing at the moment here at the top is a Me Made garment, and it's my Friday outfit. I'm filming this on the Friday of the week, so I'll come to that one towards the end of the vlog, but I'll start off with what I was wearing last Saturday. And it's been a funny week weather-wise actually. We've had a really cold May. Yeah, it's been really not at all spring weather. So I've had quite a wintry wardrobe so far this month, and it started off quite cold and dismal to the start of this week. But it's gradually got warmer, and today actually the sun's shining and it's looking really nice out there. So I'm really hoping spring and some warm weather is really on its way. But yeah, I started last Saturday, and it was a cold day, and my son had a outdoor park birthday party, so I wanted to wear something fairly practical that would keep me cozy. So I went for a kind of sweatshirt and jeans, just ready to wear jeans, and the sweatshirt was my Me Made item, and it's this one here. So it's this pattern here, which is the Papercut. Well, it used to be called the Kyoto sweater and tee, but it's recently been renamed the Solar sweater and tee. And I shared a t-shirt version that I wore earlier this month in one of my previous Me Made May vlogs, which was without the ruffle. But the version I wore this Saturday was the sweatshirt with the ruffle. And I'll show you the line joins here so you can see. So it's this version here, the sweatshirt, kind of standard crew neck, and it's kind of a boxy fit with slightly dropped shoulders. But what I really like about the pattern that I think makes it a bit different to your average sweatshirt is its little ruffles. And I think it makes it quite pretty and a little bit feminine. And I'll share with you my version. Here it is. So this is my version, this sort of dusky pink, sort of slightly spotty fabric, which I think is really cute. It's got a little ruffle on the sleeve there. And this is a French terry, sort of loop back jersey fabric, and it's by See You at 6, and I got that through Malamazi. They stock quite a few of the See You at 6 range, or the See You at 6 fabrics, and they're really nice quality actually. I've got a couple of their French terry fabrics, and they're really nice and soft, they wash well, yeah, they're quite snuggly and cosy to wear. It's not like as thick as a fleece back sweatshirt, but it's still nice and cosy when you've got a t-shirt underneath and some jeans. And I put a picture up of me wearing it so you can see what it looks like. So I've got the kind of older pattern with the older size range in, and I made the smallest size in this pattern because it's designed to be oversized, and their smallest size in the old version wasn't super small. But they've now got a larger size range, which goes from size 1 to 8, and size 1 is bust 29.9 inches, waist 22 inches, hips 32.3 inches, and it goes up to bust 46.5 inches, waist 38.6 inches, and hips 48.8 inches. So it's not the biggest range ever. Papercut are, I think, at the moment looking at extending their size range, and I don't know whether they're going to apply that to all their old patterns or not, but fingers crossed. But yeah, it's a really nice pattern. It comes together really well. The only bit I find a bit fiddly is sort of turning under the edge on the ruffle, because you want to keep it sort of so it's not too bulky. So for this version, I overlocked and then turned under, so it kind of gives it quite a neat finish. But I think you can also do it with like a rolled hem foot, but I haven't really had a proper experiment with one of those yet. And I'm not sure how well it would work with jersey fabric either actually. I don't know. But yeah, this is my version, and it's, yeah, I really like the fabric. I like the kind of dusky pink colour. As you can see, I've got a bit of a pink theme going on this week. So that's a Papercut Kyoto sweatshirt, which I wore last Saturday. Oh, and I thought I'd mention in terms of the sizing and the fitting, I think the only adjustments I made to the pattern were to lengthen the sleeves slightly and lengthen the body slightly, maybe by about an inch. But also for the sweatshirt version, I did bring in the sides slightly to make it slightly less boxy and a bit more fitted. You can probably see from the picture it's not super boxy, just because I sort of felt that style suited that fabric and that sweatshirt. I really like the boxy shape for a t-shirt though, so I don't generally take in the t-shirt version when I make it, but that's just a little adjustment I made for my sweatshirt version. So day 2 of this week was Sunday, and we decided to go to a local park that was just been updated. It was a bit new. We thought we'd go and check it out, and it was kind of cold day, but it didn't look very rainy. But in typical British weather, we were there about an hour and a half, and it started to rain. We'd just gone to the cafe to get the children something to have a snack. And then we were on one of the outdoor benches and it started to rain, and it felt very British, eating an ice cream and cake outside in the rain, but never mind. But it was another colder day, so I wore another sort of jumper and jeans combination because I just find that so practical with the kids. I love swishy dresses and things, but just when you're kind of climbing up park apparatus, it just doesn't really always work so well. So yeah, I wore a jumper and jeans, and I use this pattern here for my top, which is the Astoria top by Seamwork. And yeah, it's a fairly new pattern to me that I made this year. I've just made the one version. And these are the line drawings, but actually I've altered my version quite a lot, so it doesn't really look exactly like these line drawings. But it's kind of designed to be quite a fitted, cropped top. But I'll show you my version because I have changed it quite a lot. And I made my version, which is here, in this really lovely leaf print jacquard knit fabric from Lamazi Fabrics. This is Mine the Maker fabric. So yeah, my second Lamazi Fabrics fabric this for this week. But yeah, it's lovely. It's kind of got this embossed sort of leaf print on it, and it's called Indigo Night, this colour. And I think when I last looked, Lamazi were out of stock, but Minerva had some in all the colourways. But I'll put links down below if I can find this anywhere, because it's really beautiful fabric. It was really nice to work with actually, even though it's stretchy. It's still quite stable, so it was a nice knit to work with. And it's surprisingly cosy actually. I wasn't sure how it would be compared to a French terry, say, but it is really quite cosy. It does keep you quite warm. Anyway, this is my version, and as you can see, it doesn't look exactly like the line drawings because I changed it quite a lot. So yeah, I'll talk you through a little bit about the changes I made. I first of all dipped the neckline because I found it came up a bit tight on my toile version I made of this. So I dipped the neckline so it didn't sort of feel like it was coming up too tight here. I found the arms came up really weirdly tight on this pattern as well, so I widened the arms so they weren't too super tight. I then didn't really find the cropped version with the bottom band felt very comfortable on me, so I kind of lengthened mine out to turn it into more of a kind of traditional sort of top. And I didn't put on any cuffs like on or any bottom band, so I just kept it a bit more simple. So I thought this is one I quite like to wear as well as with jeans. I thought I might quite like to tuck it into a skirt or put it under a pinafore, so I thought too much bulk maybe around the middle might just get in the way a little bit of that. But yeah, that was my first time wearing it actually at the weekend, and yeah, I really enjoyed wearing it. It did keep me cosy. So in terms of sizing, I made the size extra small at the bust, which is for a bust of 33 to 34 inches, which is slightly bigger than my bust. I'm 32, but I found it quite fitted. I think there's a lot of negative ease built into this pattern. So actually I found the 33, 34 inch bust quite fitted around my bust. It was just fine. And then I graded up around the waist to between a extra small and a small. Because the waist of the extra small was 25, 26 and the waist of the small was 27, 28, and because of the negative ease I just thought I'd loosen it out. But actually I found that came up quite tight, and I ended up sort of widening it and making it a bit looser. I'll put up a picture so you can see how the fit on me now, and that feels more comfortable. I did feel like it was coming up quite tight, and yeah, just riding up a bit around the middle. So I'm quite pleased I made those adjustments. And this pattern goes up to a 3X size, which is bust up to bust 54 inches, waist 47 inches and hips 58 inches. So it's not too bad a size range there for this pattern. But yeah, it just was one that didn't quite work for me as it was, so I have altered it quite a lot, but I really like it and I love the fabric. So I'm glad I made it work, and I did enjoy wearing it. It did keep me nice and cosy. I'm really hoping though now I'll be able to put it away until next winter, because I'm really hoping for some warmer weather as we kind of approach the end of May. So for day 3 of this week, I decided to pull out a dress, and it's one that always makes me smile because of the fabric, and it's quite an old make now actually, but it's one I made and I didn't know whether I'd wear it a lot, and I've actually got a lot more wear out of it than I expected. And it's this I'll show you the fabric first of all here. It's this fabric here. Yeah, it's just a really fun jersey print with lots of little hearts on. It's from First for Fabrics. I got it a while ago. I think it might be one of their Stoff of Denmark prints. They have a whole range of Stoff jerseys, and they're really nice quality jersey actually. Yeah, I've washed this loads and it's still so vivid, and yeah, really nice and soft and comfy to wear. But yeah, this is it, and this is actually a kind of hack of a mashup of 2 patterns, and it's the Agnes top by Tilly and the Buttons, which is a really nice pattern with a sort of scoop neck. It's a jersey top designed to be quite fitted, so that's the top half. And then I hacked it to add on the skirt of the Freya dress, which is the pattern from this book here, the Tilly and the Buttons stretch book. And yes, it's a top which I really love, but it's also, there's a dress option with this kind of A-line skirt. So I basically started with the Agnes top pattern pieces and then kind of connected the lines to the Freya skirt to make this dress. And I'll put up a picture so you can see how it looks. And I quite like it. I know on the Tilly and the Buttons website, there's a whole blog post written about hacking the Agnes top to make it into a dress with a gathered skirt, which I've also tried and I really like. But I quite like the kind of sort of the A-line sort of shape of this one, the simplicity of this one, where it's not, you don't have the two pattern pieces, it's just one pattern piece, the top and bottom. And yeah, it's just really comfy and relaxed to wear because it's stretchy. So that's, yeah, Tilly and Buttons double hacked dress using this lovely sort of heart print fabric that always makes me smile. And for this dress, I made a Tilly and the Buttons size 2 at the top. So that's designed for a bust of 32 inches and waist of 26 inches, which is me. And then I graded out, I kind of connected the lines and graded out to a size 3 at the hips, which is 37 inches, just to give me a bit more room around the hips. But it's a really comfy one to wear, and it's quite a nice straightforward hack. The two pattern pieces sort of went together really nicely, and it's quite a simple sew. The only bit I find a bit fiddly always is getting the neckband to lie flat. I usually baste the neckband in to sort of check to see how it's looking before I sort of sew it in properly with a zigzag stitch. But yeah, it's a nice comfy relaxed day dress in that kind of fun print, another kind of pinky hue for this week. Oh, and I should mention in terms of the size range, the Agnes top and also the Freya top and the stretch book, they're some of Tilly and the Buttons' older patterns. So they have a smaller size range which goes from a UK 6 to a UK 20, and the top size is a bust 44 inches, waist 38 inches, hips 47 inch, so not the biggest size range there. And I know that Tilly and the Buttons are starting to make their new patterns in 2 size ranges. There's an extra size range which goes from 16 to 34. But these old patterns, I think they may have updated a couple of their old patterns to increase the size range, but these ones haven't been updated, unfortunately. I don't know whether they're planning to, because they're such nice popular patterns, and they're really kind of great wardrobe basics, but it hasn't happened yet, unfortunately. So for day 4 of this week, I pulled out a top which I haven't worn a lot because I think when I made it, if you've seen one of my earlier vlogs where I talk about this top when I made it, I really didn't enjoy making it, and yeah, it just was one of those things that just did not go right at all, and I think it kind of put me off it, so I sort of put it in the wardrobe and kind of forgot about it. So I thought with me made May and trying to kind of, you know, wear different things and pull different things out of the wardrobe, I thought I'd give it a go and see how I felt about it now that it was a bit more distance from when I had the big frustration with trying to get it sewn up. And it was the top I made using this pattern here, which is a Sudley blouse and dress pattern by Megan Nielsen. Yeah, it's a really nice pattern. It's got some really lovely variations. This is the old version I've got actually, so there's even a couple more variations than you can see here. But I'll show you the line drawings and I'll tell you the extra updates there have been. It's a kind of blouse which can be worn, it's quite clever, it can be worn both ways round. So the sort of shoulder seam sits in the middle and there's this little cut out keyhole bit with ties, but you can wear that either at the front or the back, which I think is quite nice. You can also add a collar on. And you can have a gathered skirt on, and the pattern has since been updated to include a broader size range because my size range is quite limited. There's only 5 sizes included, but the pattern now includes a broader size range, and also there's a couple more versions added, including a longer sleeve version that's got elasticated cuffs, which looks quite nice too. But yeah, it's a really nice pattern. I made a couple of versions of this, and I decided to make a version in this fabric here. Which is a viscose Dobby crepe fabric, which I got again from Lamasi Fabrics. Quite a lot of Lamasi Fabrics this week. And yeah, it's a really lovely fabric. I think it's really pretty. I love the Dobby, I love the crepe fabric, but I found it a real challenge to work with. With the kind of crepe texture, I found it stretched out quite a lot. I learned quite a lot from making this actually. And yeah, so it just ended up being that I think I should have somehow secure the shoulder seams with stay tape or something. I always do that with jersey fabrics, but I didn't really think about doing it with the crepe fabric. But in hindsight, I should have secured them because when I sewed them, they stretched out. And instead of sitting kind of on my shoulder, the shoulders ended up drooping down here. It did not look right at all. So I ended up sort of cutting off part of the pattern piece and sort of resewing. So it has come out okay in the end, but it was a bit of a, yeah, it wasn't the funnest. I did stay stitch all around here, which I'm really glad I did, so this didn't stretch out, so the actual keyholes come out quite nicely, and I really like that bit. But yeah, the shoulders were a bit of a nightmare. And yeah, but no, anyway, I kind of, as I said, I finished it, I put it away, I got it out, and I actually really enjoy wearing it. I just wore it with a pair of jeans. I'll put up a picture so you can see. And yeah, it was actually really comfy and nice to wear, and because it's viscose, it's quite sort of light and floaty and not too sort of rigid or restrictive like maybe a cotton Dobby might be, a bit more stiff. But yeah, it was really nice to wear. So let me tell you a few details about this one. I made the old extra small size, which is bust 34 inches, waist 26 inches, hips 36 inches. So that's my waist and hips, and a bit bigger than me on the bust. And I think this is designed to be a bit blousey. It's not a fitted blouse by any means. There are no darts anyway, so I don't think it's too critical. And particularly with a kind of viscose fabric, it kind of hangs nicely. So I think the sizing is fine on that for me. But Megan Nielsen have updated and now have a size 0 to 20 size range, and there's also a curve version of this pattern available. Megan Nielsen have a whole catalogue of curve patterns, and that goes from 14 to 30. So yeah, it's a really inclusive pattern, and I've seen loads of beautiful versions. I haven't made the dress version yet actually, but I'd really like to have a go of that too at some point. But yeah, only other adjustment I made is I shortened the ties a little bit, because I found on my previous versions they come out really long, and I thought particularly for a short sleeve version I didn't want them to kind of be too oversized, the ties, so I shortened those by quite a lot actually. But I'll show you, they're kind of, I still don't think they're like coming out, I sort of think the ties look super short. So I shortened the ties a little bit, but otherwise I made no adjustments other than all the faff of having to try and adjust the pattern pieces because it's stretched out. But yeah, I really enjoy wearing that one, and I definitely will wear again. And I'm actually quite tempted. I've got a couple of other versions with longer sleeve, but I really like wearing the short sleeve version. So I'm now toying with the idea of maybe cropping the sleeves in other versions, because it just felt quite nice with a short sleeve. So I'll have a think about that. But that's the Megan Nielsen Sadi blouse. I'm glad Me Made May encouraged me to get it out. So that brings me on to day 5 of this week. And I reached for another garment I haven't worn a lot. And this isn't one I've not worn a lot because I wasn't sure about it or I felt negative about it. It's just one that feels a bit fancy for everyday wear, but I thought that's not going to stop me wearing it. And actually it was my husband and my wedding anniversary just recently, so he had a little gap in his work on whichever day it was, Wednesday this week. So he said, well, let's go into town and have a cup of tea. So we went up and had a little sit outside. It was quite nice. So I thought I'd dress up a little bit for it, even if it was just a walk into town for a cup of tea. So yeah, anyway, it's a bit of a fancier one, and it's this pattern here. It is the Bakerloo, well, it's the blouse version by Lee London. And yeah, it's a really lovely pattern. It's funny, it's one when it came out that I thought, oh, that's really not for me. But I really enjoyed the sewing process, and I think they're such pretty garments. I'm really pleased I did give it a go. But yeah, I made the blouse. It's got this really oversized collar with a lovely ruffle around the edge. At the back, it's got a little keyhole back with a little rouleau loop and button closure. It's got darts, but it isn't by any means a fitted blouse. It is quite sort of a loose fit. It's got these balloon sleeves with a lovely little ruffle detail at the end. So it's got some lovely details, and there's obviously a dress with a gathered skirt version, which I've also made. And again, I haven't worn out because it just feels fancy, but I really enjoyed wearing my version this week. So I think I should just get them out and say, who cares if I look a little bit overdressed for the school one. So I'll show you my version. And I actually did a vlog talking all about this pattern in quite a lot of detail. So I'll put a link up in case you'd like to check that out. But this is my version, and I made it in this beautiful Liberty Tana lawn, which I got from Minerva. It's really lovely with these little wildflowers on. And I used a navy cotton lawn for the ruffle. And then it's got the little detail at the back with the rouleau loop, as you can see. And it's a navy button. Some really lovely details. And then it's got the cuff with the ruffle. And the only sort of main change I made to this pattern is to reduce the volume of the sleeves. Because I thought with a big collar and balloon sleeves, it might end up wearing me. So I just kind of reduced the sleeve volume to make them a bit more narrow. And I prefer that for me. But I put a picture up so you can see me wearing it. And I wore it with my Megan Nielsen Brumby skirt, which I've got here. Denim skirt, and I actually talked quite a lot about this. I wore this once already in Me Made May, and I think it was last week, so I talk about it more in my week 3 vlog. So if you want to hear more about the Brumby skirt, then check that vlog out to show you the patterns so you can see briefly. But yeah, I talked more about that last week, so I won't go into too much detail on that one, but it's a great skirt that goes with everything. I kind of could wear it every day really. But yeah, so the Bakerloo blouse is really lovely. It was really comfy to wear. This Tana lawn, so soft. It didn't feel like a shirt type thing, like a kind of cotton poplin stiff shirt. It felt very soft and comfy to wear. And so what to say, I made the size 6 at the bust, which is 32 inches, but I graded out at the hips to size 8, I think. So yeah, just because it's not, although it's not designed to be fitted, I wanted to make sure it didn't sort of fit too tightly around the hips still. It was still a bit blousey looking. And yeah, what else to mention about this one? Oh, so there's 2 size ranges. I've got a paper pattern which is available in size 6 to 20, but there's also a PDF size range available from 16 to 28, so that's really good that there's a kind of inclusive size range on this one because it's such a lovely one. But yeah, it's just a really yeah, a bit of a fancy one to wear. The only thing I found, which is a practical point, is that it was quite windy in town. I did find the collar flapped up a little bit, but yeah, that was just a bit funny. But it's lovely. All the little details are really nice. It's kind of a bias bound neckline, which I always like a bias bound neckline. And I think I might have lengthened mine by an inch just to make sure it was easy to tuck into a skirt. But yeah, it's just a really nice sew. It's a bit more of a tricky sew. It's quite fiddly. Doing the bias binding around the neckline and also the ruffle is quite a fiddly thing to do. So I definitely say it's one for if you've got a few sewing projects under your belt already before you tackle this one. But it is a really lovely and quite a sort of impactful, I think, blouse. So I really enjoyed wearing that one, the Bakerloo blouse by Lee, London. Oh, and I thought I'd share one other little me made I wore with my Bakerloo blouse on Wednesday of this week. And that was a matching face mask, which I also made in this Liberty tan lawn fabric. I had a bit left over, so I thought, well, we're still having to wear face masks indoors in a lot of places at the moment. I also have to wear them on the school run when we're into the school grounds, so I thought I'd make a few more. And I had some of these scraps left over, so yeah, it kind of tickled me to be all coordinating with my blouse and my mask when we went into the coffee shop in town, and I wore it on the school run to pick up my children too. And one of the mums actually commented on how coordinated I was, which made me feel a little bit silly. But I thought, well, you know, and why not enjoy it? It's lovely fabric, so I may as well use it. And if you're interested, this mask is made using the Durata Davies free mask pattern, which I really like. It fits quite well on my face. I find it quite comfortable to wear, and also particularly when I'm having to get the mask on to enter the school grounds on the school run, it just kind of pops on quite easily. Just I've also made some masks using a different pattern which kind of folds out, and it's a bit more fiddly to get on when I've got two children who are like desperate to get in and sort of saying, "Mum, hurry up." This one pops on quite easily, and it's quite a comfy one to wear, so I'd recommend that, the Durata Davies free mask pattern. I'll put a link down below. I'm sure probably everyone's made quite a few masks and don't need any more, but just in case you're interested, I do like this pattern, it sews up nicely. So yeah, that was my matching mask, an extra little me made I wore on Wednesday of this week. So that brings me on to Thursday of the week, which is yesterday, and I got out one of my much loved Sagebrush tops. This pattern here is a Sagebrush top pattern by Friday Pattern Company, and it's a really nice one, woven top pattern. I'll show you the line drawings. It's kind of an oversized, sort of loose fitting woven top. It's got kind of these little sort of nice puffy sleeves with a little elasticated bit at the bottom that kind of come to just sort of kind of shortish sleeve. It's got a ruffle across the front and then a little bit of gathering underneath the ruffle. And then the neckline's finished with visible bias binding, which then goes into a little tie at the back. So yeah, it's a really nice pattern. It's just kind of like a top that you can wear really comfy and casual, but it also looks quite pretty. And it looks so nice in so many different fabrics. I've made two versions so far. One in double gauze, which gives quite a kind of a puffy sort of effect, and I've also made one which I wore yesterday in a rayon, which is much more drapey and the sleeves aren't quite as puffy. But yeah, it's a really nice pattern, and what's nice about it as well is it has a really decent size range. It goes from an extra small, which is bust 32, waist 24, hips 34, up to 7X, which is bust 60, waist 53, hips 63. So yeah, really inclusive size range, and it's just a really nice sew. I've sewn a couple of Friday Pattern Company patterns, and they just sew up really nicely. I find their instructions just work really well. They're nice to follow. It feels quite relaxed when you're making it. And I'll show you my version, which is this one here. And yeah, here it is. It's kind of hard to see the ruffle because it's quite a busy fabric, so I'll sort of show you the ruffle there, and then you can see the sort of bias binding there just around the back of the tie. And then because it's rayon, the puff sleeves don't look very puffy, and I also actually have taken a bit of volume out of the sleeves for both of my versions because I didn't want too much volume for me. But yeah, it's lovely and drapey, really comfy to wear, and this rayon is a Cloud 9 rayon, which I got from Sister Mintaka. I'm not sure if she's got any in stock, but I have seen it pop up on a couple of other websites as well. It's really lovely. It's just so soft, and so it was really lovely to work with actually. I thought because it was so soft and so silky, it might be a bit of a nightmare to work with, but actually it behaved quite nicely, so it was a pleasant surprise. But yeah, all the little details on here are lovely, I think, with the ruffle. It's got a little line of top stitching above, which is quite fun to do. Yeah, the bias binding goes in really nicely, and it's just a nice one to wear. I'll put up a picture of me wearing it. Because the weather was heating up, I actually got out a pair of slightly cropped sort of chino trousers. And I'm not usually, I'm more of a jeans person when I wear trousers. I don't wear a lot of trousers, and I don't really make many trousers at all. This is just a pair of ready to wear chinos, but I quite like them, and I quite like how they go with a Sagebrush top. And it felt nice to be wearing something other than jeans on the trouser front, which felt a little bit more summery. So that's the Friday Pattern Company Sagebrush top. It's a really nice sew, and I really like this fabric. It's really comfy to wear. And just kind of like a fun top that adds a little edge to an outfit, I think. So that brings me on to today and what I'm wearing today. And it's this pattern here. It is the cuff top by the Assembly Line. My first pattern by the Assembly Line. And it's one that I've been admiring on Instagram for a while. And so I was looking for a use for these two fabric remnants left over, and I came across this and thought it would be a perfect match. It's just a quite, it's the one, you only get the one variation with this pattern, but it's a really nice top, I think. It's got a boat neck. It's got these, well, the feature, I guess, is these oversized elasticated cuffs on the sleeves, and then it's got a centre seam at the front and the back, so it lends itself really well to colour blocking. But I've seen some lovely non-colour blocked versions too. So yeah, my version I made, I'll just stand up so you can see a little bit. It's got these, the cuffs here. I made this using scraps that I had left over from two other projects. So this sort of dusky pink colour, I'd made a Calais shirt dress in, and I made a video talking about that dress actually, so I'll put a link up in case you're interested. And then this version I made a pair of pyjama bottoms in, because I really love the fabric. It's a Lady McElroy cotton lawn, and I think I got it from Minerva. I'll put a link down below if it's still available. That comes in both these colours, and I think they work quite nicely together. So I was really pleased I had enough to make this top, and had a bit of fun. So it's got the two the lines there, and it's also got the two different colours in the back. And I'll put a picture up so you can see me wearing it, but it's a really nice relaxed top to wear, and it's an enjoyable sew too. It's quite straightforward. I did make a couple of adjustments to this pattern. I lowered the neckline slightly at the front because I found when I was looking on Instagram at different pictures of it looked like it was coming up quite high, and I didn't want it to come up too high, and I still think it comes up fairly high actually, even having moved it down by about 1.5 centimetres. So I'm glad I made that adjustment. And I also brought in the neckline a little bit, so you can see where it sits on me here. I think if it's much further out, it would show my bra straps, and I've seen people talking about it coming up a little bit too wide, showing bra straps. So I brought in the neckline by about 1 centimetre on each side, and that seems to work nicely. And then I think I lengthened it just slightly as well, so I can have the option of tucking it in. But yeah, it's a really nice top. I think just the cuff feature is so clever and so simple, but it looks really nice. I quite like to make maybe quite a simple black one, maybe in a viscose linen or something, just to kind of really show off the silhouette with the cuffs as well. So maybe I'll put that on my to make list. In terms of sizing, I made the size extra small, which is bust 32, waist 26, hips 36, so pretty much bang on my measurements. And it goes up to a size extra large, bust 49, waist 45, hips 54. And it's a funny pattern because the finished measurements it gives isn't the sort of standard finished measurements of bust, waist and hips. It gives some different measurements like bust, bottom, upper sleeve, sleeve cuff, a bit of a random mix. But I found that size came up nicely on me. It's not too tight. It's quite a straight fit. It's quite relaxed to wear. But it's a really nice sew. The only bit I'm not sure about is it's finished the facing around the neckline, and I generally prefer a bias bound neckline. I'm not sure how the bias binding would work on the boat neck. I haven't ever done bias binding around a boat neck sort of with this kind of sort of sharp corner, but maybe I'd look into having a go of doing it with bias binding if I made it again. But the facing does work fine. It's just a personal preference thing. But that is the cuff top by Assembly Line. Yeah, it's really nice to wear actually, really comfy and relaxed, and I love the kind of cuff feature. So that's the last day of this week, but I also wanted to share actually one more pattern which I've been wearing through May but I haven't mentioned, so it seemed a bit unfair not to mention it. And it's my kind of go-to loungewear pattern, and it's this one here, which is the True Bias Hudson pants, which I wear most evenings. So I guess I'm kind of wearing a me-made item every day, even if I don't wear something in the day, because I usually put on a pair of these as soon as it's the evening, or if I'm doing a bit of cleaning and stuff and want to kind of wear something really relaxed and comfy. It's a really nice pattern. I've made some of the men's version and also the mini versions too. I haven't made a pair of ladies ones for a while because I've got a few pairs now in my wardrobe, so I don't really need any more. It's quite a sort of slim leg jogger. It kind of sits on the hips, but there's also on their website of True Bias an add-on, or not an add-on, but like a blog post talking about how you can make it into a higher waisted version, which I quite like the idea of actually. It's got little pockets, little pocket details, so you can have fun with a different colour on the little pockets. It's got cuffs, and it's also got a shorter version. I think they're kind of like a yoga style thigh length sort of version, which I haven't tried making, but I've seen some versions of those that look really nice too. But yeah, it's just a great everyday loungewear pattern. I thought I'd show you a pair of mine. This is the pair I was wearing yesterday when I did some cleaning. It's a navy French terry from Minerva. It's quite nice, it's quite lightweight, so they're not too super cozy for if you're kind of doing cleaning and getting a bit hot. And I've just kind of accessorised with a little white cord, but otherwise kept it quite simple. And I do find when you don't use ribbing but use the actual fabric for the bottom, these do come up quite snug around my ankle. They're a bit of a tricky one to get on. So I think if I made them again, I might make, you know, and I was using the same French terry fabric, which isn't quite as stretchy as ribbing, I might just loosen the cuffs at the bottom a little bit, just to make them slightly easier to get on. But yeah, that's me wearing them in my kind of, yeah, sort of a relaxed loungewear outfit. That's my kind of, the other Me Made May side that isn't the kind of outfits of the day. The two Bias Hudson pants, and they are quite true to size, I think. I think I made the size, I think I might have said size 2 or size 4. I think I went on the hips measurement on the basis with the waist, because of the elastic you can kind of bring it into where you want it. So I think I might have gone for the size 4 with hips 36 and then just pulled in the waist a little bit more because my waist is slightly smaller than the size 4 waist. But yeah, it's quite easy to adjust because of the elastic at the top. And yeah, I just think they're great. They fit so much better than any joggers I've bought in the stores before. So it's really nice to be able to make the length just right and the fit just right, and yeah, get the fabrics you want. But that is the True Bias Hudson pants, my extra Me Made May item I've been wearing. But that is it for me for Me Made May. So that's 4 weeks of what I've been wearing. Yeah, it's been really interesting. I've definitely pulled some different things out of the wardrobe, and it's made me think about the pattern companies I often reach for again and again too. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed hearing a little bit about my wardrobe. I'm hoping next weekend I'll be back with another vlog. I'm going to be doing one talking about what I've been making in May. I made a few different things in May that I'm really looking forward to sharing. So do, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe and click the bell icon, and then you'll be notified as soon as my next vlog comes out. But if you've enjoyed this vlog series, I'd love it if you would give me a thumbs up. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Have a great day. Bye.